one of the most beautiful aspects of dreams, I think, are what you could say call their healing qualities. Whether it's a revelation that you have from some like big life dilemma, or even a simple like math problem you've been trying to figure out, to more emotional or even spiritual, physical sense of relief. Yeah, I think dreams are definitely capable of that. And again, it's just one of the many beautiful aspects that they have. And personally, one for me is, well, I think it gave me a big sense of faith, I guess, or hope in life, I guess. You know, there's just moments where you're going through and, you know, not that you want to give up, but, you know, it just seems like a struggle. But, well, in the dream, I started off riding a motorcycle on the freeway, and I love driving, and I don't know, I guess I love that sense of relief, but I ended up taking the freeway, you know, just driving to what seemed like a metro station, Union Station in LA, kind of like an abstract version of it, but once I got there, somehow it shifted to me being the bike turned into roller skates. I used to roller skate, and I guess I was just rolling across the metro, admiring the view, and I ended up coming across my LA godmother again from past, and when she was actually going through cancer, you know, she was forgetting her memory, and in the dream it showed her being carried or being led by some family relatives of her, and I knew them. But it was just interesting seeing her kind of not know where she was going, but knowing that, oh, like, these people, like, you know, my family, they're helping me. And even just saying that out loud, that just gave me a slight more bit of an insight into that. But anyways, they ended up taking her to what I thought was like a giant mass, or I guess a funeral, you could say. And you know, people were just sitting down in the middle of the metro station, but it looked almost like it had Roman architecture. There were these pillars like around, and so it was like a circle. We were in the middle, but there's just these pillars again. And I just remember hearing a priest, I guess, giving a sermon, and I wasn't really sad as much as I was just understanding the situation. And so I got up and I started walking like towards like the pillars, like outside, and I could see there was like a little globe, and on the globe were little islands, and for some reason I knew, like, my sister was actually talking like in the background, I guess, like as a narrator, and the biggest one was what I imagined to be like my dad's island. Another one was my sister's, and another one was mine. I was the smallest one. I feel really young in a lot of ways, but I feel like I'm growing a lot, and I guess I could honestly say I feel like, I guess, yeah, I really admire my family for what they do, and I'm grateful for it. And I just feel like sometimes I could be a bit of a slow learner. But anyways, I heard my sister saying like, oh, you know, we'll help you, like, you know, grow your islands, or, you know, just go. And I remember thinking, I really appreciate it. I mean, I told her it's okay though, like, I got it. And I feel like that. But anyways, just having that reassurance, I guess, from a family member, it was really nice. And somehow I unlocked like a treasure chest in my little island, and I had the ability to cast like magic or fly or something, and you could say they were based on video games, but Kingdom Hearts. But anyways, from there, that's, I guess, where there was a sort of a turning point. I looked to the side, and it looked like a grid. I guess from like Tron, you could imagine like a blue grid, just like a geometric lines. And I started flying towards it, thinking it's like, oh, it's like the edge of reality or whatever it was. It was just like, oh, hey, like what's beyond this? And so I was flying towards it, and you know, once I got to a certain point, there was no actual land. It was just this empty space, an empty grid, black and blue. And I remember thinking, it looked like I was transparent. And I imagined what I had in my hand was almost the spirit of my own godmother. And once it got to a certain point, there were different lights. It just scattered around. And the further and further I got into just the grid, more and more lights came out, and then they started attaching themselves to me, and you know, just I guess the soul, the spirit that I was carrying. And I heard a voice in the background saying like, you know, the farther you go, the heavier it's gonna get. And I mean, there's so many other like insightful notions I could bring up based on what I thought those little lights were and more stuff, but I guess the idea was I kept going and going and realizing, you know what, it's getting too heavy, like I need to get back. And so I started flying back. But then I heard again the narration. I don't know who it was. I guess it was just like a subconscious part of my mind saying that it's okay though, like I guess, you know, whatever you take, whatever, they're gonna help you. And I don't know, I just felt this sudden sense of relief once I started flying back, and still with the soul in my hand. And then it eventually turned to just a view of, like a straight view of, this is me, well, you know, this is us, and we're just flying straight, and you just see the grid right behind us, you know, horizontal and vertical lines. And eventually the image of me disappeared, and it was just these lines, and they just turned into these very, very, very vivid movements of light. Somehow the horizontal ones or the vertical ones were like red, and they started just like pulsating, and then those kind of stopped, and then the horizontal lines turned blue and started pulsating, and then both did them at the same time. And at the end, like, there was just not a barrage, it was just like an overload almost, or just like an extreme just pulse of light just radiating. And I just remember feeling so good, like I can't explain it. It just felt amazing, I can honestly say. And I just remember waking up, and you know, I went back to sleep later, but I remember just being stuck for a while, thinking like, damn, that just, it just felt very comforting. What I just had, I felt as a very, I guess, yeah, healful dream, or very, I imagined those lights just being, you know, giving off positive vibes. Or just, and I don't know, I mean, there's other dreams I've had, you know, I'll bring it up somewhere along the line, but again, just that aspect of dreams to heal, it's beautiful. And I'm sure I've heard of a few other people having their own spiritual kind of awakening, or you know, sessions, and just thought I would share. So